Hello and welcome back to episode 15 of the On the Gas podcast. We discussed the championship fight going down to the wire this weekend in Catalonia. Rossi and Stoner reuniting on track at the ranch. We discussed rumours in Moto2 and Moto3 and contract confirmations. And Lauren and her big brother in bed.
Shut up!
Stick around, folks.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
Yes. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe on YouTube, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and all that jazz. And I hope you enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 15 of the On the Gas podcast. As you can tell, we have a full house for the first time in a few weeks, just by the nick of our teeth, may I add.
The nick of our teeth.
Yes.
Whatever that means.
The nick.
The skin of the teeth.
Yeah.
It's
Just
every
in the
week.
nick of time.
Nick
And
of
the skin of
time.
our teeth.
There you go, I've remixed
So,
it.
just in the nick of our skin, we are all here.
Yeah, because we
How
nearly
nice
didn't
is
have
that?
Lauren, did we? And then the last minute.
Yeah.
Hop on.
Yeah.
And yes, obviously we've got Cameron back as well. Hello, Cameron.
Hello, everybody.
Are you ready to submit your demise of the predictions this week and solidify your last place standing?
So, no.
No. Okay. You're going to try and make a comeback.
Is there
Listen.
any? Is he still mathematically in it?
We're all mathematically in it. Cameron can still win the whole thing. Yeah.
If I get everything right,
Yeah.
all polls,
Everything.
all positions.
Oh, I forgot.
in the
Okay,
last
yeah.
round.
I was thinking 125 points in my head, but now that I'm for
Yeah,
all three classes,
You can get
then,
325.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cameron would
So,
smoke everybody, really.
I hope you're ready.
Get your hands ready.
Honest.
But
Yes.
go into the main podcast, though. I think we have to start with the main point, which is that this weekend there is a title to be decided between Jorge Martin and Francesco Bagnaia. Now, before I go into the permutations of who can win and how, what we're saying, who do we think is going to win the championship? I believe there's a 24-point lead at the moment for Martin over Bagnaia. AI told me the other day it'll be Martin. So,
Well, I
Hmm.
mean,
shocked.
AI can hallucinate, so
It told me some
You
absolutely
were lucky
mental
to
stuff
get
a
that.
while ago. I had a massive fight with it. It was quite funny.
oh,
Of course you did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Literally, it was
Yeah,
telling me
surprise me.
actually.
it was telling me, did you race for Repsol Honda? And I was like, no, but it would not back down.
Well,
I
maybe-
wouldn't want to get in a fight with AI, so I would have
Yeah,
just been
that's
like,
it.
do you know what? Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I always say please.
Yeah, that's a
GPT,
good idea.
Just in
Yeah.
case.
Well,
Yeah.
off topic, my girlfriend, because I'll like tell the Alexa, like, oh, Alexa, turn the music off or whatever. And she's like, no, you gotta say please. You gotta be nice to it for when the AIs take over. Be
It's
nice
true.
to them and
They'll
they'll
remember.
remember you.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, they will. But yes, so World Championship to be decided this weekend. Who's your money on?
I'm gonna go with the AI, and I'm gonna say Martin.
Okay.
I think, like, I don't know. Like, I could get all wax lyrical about how he showed all the maturity and everything this
Which he
year.
has.
Yeah, which he has. He has. But yeah, I don't know. I just think, like, statistically, making up a 24-point deficit in the last round is it's pretty unheard of, barring, like, I don't know, injury from Martin through the week or for whatever reason he can't take part.
Yeah.
I don't know. All he really has to do is finish both races.
Pretty much.
Like, and
You can win it in the
surely
sprint.
he could win in the sprint. He's just got to basically finish ahead of Pecco,
He's got
right?
to outscore Pekka by 2 points.
all he needs is 26 points.
Yeah, and he's done.
Yeah, going into Sunday. So, like,
Yeah.
he could wrap it up on Saturday. I hope
I
he
think
doesn't.
he will. I think he will.
But
I
like,
do as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
I kind of hope he doesn't, just for the sake of
a Sunday
Sunday,
showdown kind of
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But like just to keep something alive. But I think
Given his sprint form.
given his sprint form, although Pecco, because Pecco crashed out of the sprint, didn't he? When we were there earlier in the year, he crashed out at turn
believe so.
5, and then he made like the race-winning pass on the Sunday at turn 5, and it was all poetic.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because they were saying that earlier today the Catalonia circuit's quite tricky because it's quite easy to crash on because of the grip and things like that,
I think
which will make it interesting.
Pecco probably has the potential to be faster than
Yeah.
Martin this weekend, like from the get-go, because if got all the data for how the bike is gonna work there this weekend, in theory. Like, sure, conditions will be different, but I think Pecco will be fast from the start. And like we were saying last week, there seems to be an edge that is gained from being in the Lenovo team once all that data is there and they've worked on everything. And I think that's going to be more prevalent this weekend because we're going back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think maybe actually barring a crash from Pecco, he'll probably win it.
Yeah.
The sprint, I think. But we don't know because Martin's had form. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Speak, Lauren.
Yeah, you've been holding that
Well,
point for a minute.
I've gone through so many different emotions through all that where I was gonna like jump in. I think number one, have we told the listeners that they're racing in Barcelona this weekend? I suppose
No.
you'd have to be living under a rock to have not seen that announcement, but that has been confirmed. That
Yeah.
we're not
That's
going to
great.
Valencia due to obvious reasons. But yeah, that means we're going to Barcelona. So that changes things massively. Cameron then obviously was saying about the grip and the fact that we have been there before. Pecco Bagnaia had a bit of a disaster the last time we were in Barcelona, if my memory is correct.
Depends.
Did he have a crash?
He binned it in the
So
sprint,
he
but then he
won-
won the race.
Yeah, that's
okay.
right. Yeah.
So a typical Pecco weekend then,
Yeah.
where he has a disaster in the sprint and then makes it all up on the Sunday, because he is a Sunday man. He's made that pretty clear. So I think that that's why I can see Jorge Martin wrapping up the title on Saturday, just due to the fact that he's won so many sprint races this season, and that Saturday format just seems to suit him so much better. And that's where he's managed to gain all of the points on Pecco Bagnaia. So as much as I don't want it to happen on the Saturday, I do think it would be really fitting for Martin to win it on the Saturday because of said form. I think it would all sort of just fall
Come
into
together.
place, and that would sum 2024 up in a season, like as a season. But I do hope it goes down to the main race on Sunday. If it does, I think we could get something a bit different. I don't know, we could get a mistake, we could get someone else coming into the mix. You know, they might be third, fourth, fifth place because they're so worried about, you know, the other rider. So we could get something like that, which could make it interesting. We've also got battles for other places in the championship to be decided too. Enea Bastianini and Marc Marquez are separated by just a point for third place. So if it is decided on Saturday, the champion, then I think we're going to have a good race on for third place between Bastianini and Marquez. Marc Marquez had an absolute masterclass the last time we were here. He started 14th and finished on the podium in both races. So that could be a really exciting spectacle if the championship is wrapped up on Saturday. So I've got a few sort of ways that it could play out, but each one, I do see Jorge Martin becoming champion. I think it would take a complete and utter disaster basically for Jorge Martin to lose this. When we look at the championship last year, Pecco Bagnaia led by 21 points into the final round and Jorge Martin lost his head. I don't think Pecco is going to get on the same way. He usually thrives in these sorts of situations where he's behind in the championship, but I just think 24 points is just too much at this point in the season. So yeah, to sum up a long story, I do think every eventuality leads towards Jorge Martin winning the championship.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, for Martin to win the championship on Saturday, it won't take much. So I've got the actual kind of figures here. It was posted on my page of the day.
Oh, good, because I haven't worked it out at all. I'm just sort of in my head. I'm like, if he wins it, surely that's enough.
Yeah. So if he wins the race, the sprint race, which is 1, 2, 3. Wait, I've already got that stat on my page as well. 7. So I don't even have to count them up. 7 times. So if he wins in the sprint, he's champion, no matter what. If he's second and Bagnaia doesn't win, he's also champion. Now, these following ones are where Pecco needs to finish. Pecco needs to beat this, basically, to stop Martin from being the champion. So Martin will be the champion in the sprint if he is third and Pecco is fifth or worse. If Martin's fourth, Pecco is sixth or worse. If Martin's fifth, Pecco has to be seventh or worse to crown Martin the champion. Martin's sixth, eighth or worse for Pecco. If he's seventh, P9 or worse for Pecco. And then P8, which is the final point score. No, it's not. P8, you score 2 points. Pecco has to finish 10th or less because there's 2 points for 8th. And that will crown Martin the champion. And then if Martin finishes 9th, it rolls over to Sunday, as long as Pecco scores. Well, yeah, even if Pecco scores a 0 and Martin finishes 9th in the sprint, then it rolls on to Sunday purely on race wins, and it'll be 25-point gap. And then in the main race, then Martin would have to DNF and Pecco would have to win to crown Pecco the champion in that scenario.
I'm not speaking that one into existence.
No, I don't want it to happen. Absolutely not.
No, but unfortunately, there's a possibility of all these sorts of things happening. So we'll put that one on the back burner and just not talk about it. Because
that's racing, and that's been the season. It's been a season of capitalizing on mistakes.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Pecco himself said it's a season of mistakes. So
yeah,
and yeah, I'm quite excited to see kind of how it all plays out this weekend, because I don't want anyone to kind of suffer with misfortune or anything like that. I want it to all be nice, fair, and square. And if Pecco and Martin are scrapping and one of them makes a mistake, then that's kind of on them. That's the only way I want to see someone but for someone to not finish the race, it has to be through their own mistake and not through getting knocked off or a DNF or a mechanical error or something like that.
Yeah, I want to see good hard racing, but God forbid that someone makes a mistake and takes the other out. I also just want to see a battle between those two. If other people get involved, then they get involved, but I wouldn't want them. I think most riders are sensible enough to not get involved in the championship fight anyway. If they're going to make those sorts of overtakes on either Pecco or Jorge, I think they're going to go, can I actually make this move? And is it sensible for me to do? I think the only other people that are really going to be up there are probably Marc Marquez and Enea Bastianini. So they've got their own battles to sort of fight for too.
There is a name you've missed out there, fighting at the front at Barcelona. Aleix Espargaro.
Oh, yeah.
Final of a race.
Yeah.
He loves it. He actually won the sprint earlier this year, didn't he?
Yes,
really?
he did. Yeah.
So, if there's any man...
Brad crashed out of the lead. So did Ralph
Yeah.
Hernandez.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it's coming back to me now.
And this is Aleix's home. I think he grew up within a kilometre of the track. For this to be his final of a race is so poetic. Absolutely love it. And if Aleix can repeat his success from earlier this year and get a sprint win or a podium or a main race win or podium, that would just be the icing on the cake, I think, from a fantastic career, may I add. Going to be sorely missed in the MotoGP paddock. We said that he's going to be in HRC colours next year as a test rider.
Yep.
But I do think I will miss him on track. And if anybody can throw a spanner into works this weekend, it will be Aleix, and he'll also be helping out Jorge Martin because they're buddies.
Yeah, it's his protege almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. It'd be
Be
nice, but the Aprilia just seems to have lost its way, and I think Aleix he's probably already retired in his mind in a way, from racing anyway. It's like, you guys do your thing at the front, whatever. Yeah,
and I'm very sorry to Matt Dunn for what I'm about to say after his tweet earlier today, but it is The Last Dance. Don't
even. Matt Dunn is so right for this every year. He's hit the nail on the head with this one. They need to stop saying it. And the
Yeah,
only
they
person
do.
who's acceptable is Alicia Spygaro or any other sort of retiring riders or something like that. It's not The Last Dance. There's no need to
No.
call it The Last Dance. No.
Yeah.
It's the
But
have I missed a rant here or something?
yeah, Matt Dunn
Yeah.
passionately hates
Okay.
The Last Dance.
Every year, every single rider always goes, "It's the last dance. Time for the last dance." Just stop. There's no need. And every single post is all the same, and
Yeah. And it's
it's like when they
dancing
do,
emoji, the salsa
yeah,
emoji on the
and
end.
it's like it's the same people who always do like race week tick or like
Vinales is one
yeah
for
P1 done,
Yeah,
and they do
like
the wee tick emoji or
token
like
Yeah.
social media
yeah
engagement posts things.
yeah
Yeah.
a social media manager has probably wrote
Low
that for
effort.
them.
Low
Yeah,
effort content. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
Job done. Tick. Same thing. So
Yeah.
The Last Dance falls into that category, and every year it's the same thing. So Matt Dunn had gone on a bit of a rant earlier, and I'm nearly sure he's done it for the last couple of years.
yeah, I think so.
But I'm on Matt Dunn's side
Yeah.
completely. It's
Me
just such a
too.
melt. Look at every single rider's Twitter and Instagram this weekend, and you'll notice it, and then you can't unsee it.
Yeah, he's put a ban on it until what I think next Tuesday or something
Pretty
like
cringe.
that.
Yeah.
But it is the last kind of ride, shall we
Boogie.
say, for many riders. Yeah. With obviously Martin's last ride for the Pramac Ducati squad as they change over to Pramac Yamaha and he switches on to Aprilia. There is a test next Tuesday between 10 a.m. and 5 o'clock p.m. at Catalonia, where we'll see all the riders on their new bikes. That's obviously Martin on the Aprilia, Marc Marquez and Factory Ducati, Bastianini on a KTM now because it's KTM Tech 3,
Yeah.
Pedro Costa on the Factory KTM, Vinales on the KTM. Didia's not riding. Pirro will be replacing him and then will ride in the test. That's why Iannone isn't riding in the last race because they'll need Pirro for the test in Catalonia. And it makes sense.
Just
Continuity.
going to be there anyway. Yep.
He'll have raced the whole weekend, so he knows the track and then can give data from what he already knows.
Well, Digi's getting a 2025 bike as well, so
yeah, exactly.
that's why they'll want Pirro there. Yeah,
and Pirro was testing the 25 last week at Jerez alongside Savadori on the Aprilia and Pedrosa on the KTM. I'll go into Pedrosa in a minute. Just earmark that one a second.
Okay.
Franco Morbidelli, obviously on the VR46 bike next week. Aleix might be on the HRC.
Oh wait, Frankie will be. I got that so wrong. I said no. Ignore that.
Aleix might be testing the Honda for the first time. I'm not sure. Bezzecchi on the Aprilia. Miller on the Yamaha. Oliveira on the Yamaha. And that's it for changes. Obviously, Nakagami's last race, Augusto Fernandez's last race for the time being, likely to be confirmed as a Yamaha test rider, potentially this weekend. And yeah, so it's very interesting.
Those HRC mechanics and engineers and data people are going to have a bit of a culture shock when Aleix steps off that bike for the first time and he's like,
and he goes, what is
this? Yeah.
I can imagine it as well.
He doesn't mince his words and he's going to scream at them. They're not going to know what to hit them. Yeah. That could like not last long, to be honest. I could see there just being way too much friction there.
Thankfully, though, I can't remember his name now. The guy from Aprilia is going over with Aleix.
Okay.
So if anyone can translate Aleix's language into nice spoken English, then that's him. I can't remember his name. It's not Andrea Dossley, is it?
I'd quite like a camera to be in the Honda garage. Yeah, like The Office style. I'd like to just see it play out.
Yeah, a weird documentary.
Yeah, I want everyone mic'd up. I want everyone to know where the cameras are, and I want to see it all. So I think it'll be good.
Get Steve Carell in there as well.
Yeah, I think Yamaha could be an interesting one too. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that garage to see what everyone's thinking, because you've got 4 bikes now, which is going to be really, really interesting. And obviously Pramac branded. So
yeah,
the
and so much experience in that Yamaha cohort now.
It's
crazy.
It's a good thing. Can only be a good thing.
Yeah, it was Romano
Touch wood.
Albuciano as well, going from Aprilia to HRC. I earmarked Pedro Costa, Danny Pedrosa. There's Pedro in there somewhere. So, did you see
Right.
the video posted on social media the other day?
Who?
Which one?
The onboard of him on the KTM around Jerez.
Danny?
Oh, I
Yeah.
saw it pop up,
No.
and then
He
Instagram
stuck.
did that weird thing, and it
Oh, and it
disappeared.
disappears. Yeah.
Yeah.
He stuck probably an Insta360 camera in his helmet, and it was insane just to watch him go around Jerez. And I think the maddest part for me when I was watching it is you're expecting the straight. You know, like I've played the game enough times, I kind of know the layout of Jerez in my head now, and I'm like, right, the straight's coming up now, and then he goes for a little bit, and then he goes around the corner, and you're like, where's the straight? Before you realise he's already done the straight, and MotoGP bikes are just that fast down the straight that before you know it's gone.
It's just
It's
just the exit of turn, whatever it is, 6 or something.
turn 6,
7?
I think. Yeah, and
Yeah.
but it's just the fact how fast it went down the straight. It brought me back to when Brad Binder first tested a MotoGP bike, and he said that you don't get a rest on the straights anymore. But as soon as you get on the straight, by the time you're kind of gone, I'm on the straight, you're already braking for turn 1.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a massive culture shock for obviously Chantra, Nagura. Who else is Fermin Aldeguer, of course.
Oh yeah. Forgot
Who
that.
else are the rookies next year? I can't remember. Agura, Fermin Aldeguer, Chantra. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive culture shock for them next year, I think, or
It'll
even
be good
next
to
week.
see them scrapping away. Actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Very
rookie of
Yeah.
the year could be really interesting, actually.
I think, given the bikes they're on, it'll be Aldeguer.
Probably, yeah.
Most likely, but I suppose you never know because every year you sort of get thrown a surprise. And like, I think I'll use Pedro Acosta and Augusto Fernandez for the prime example of look what Acosta can do on that bike. And then Augusto Fernandez, unfortunately, isn't making it work. So you never know. Maybe those rookies are what these teams need. And maybe the likes of Honda with the likes of Alicia Spagro moving into the team, maybe that could help Chantra bring in all this, I don't know, fresh ideas. Could be a massive thing. And the LCR bikes, Johan Zarco's been doing a good job this year. So
absolutely outstanding this year, Zarco.
Chantra,
He's
I
not
think, will
getting
have
enough.
Yeah.
Enough credit. But
So I think Chantra will have a good chance because of that. He's stepping into a team that is definitely looking at development and taking steps in the right direction. Trackhouse will be interesting for Iger, though. I'm really intrigued on that one.
The culture will be massively different. I think Agura in itself had a massive culture shock anyway because he went from Asia Talent Cup. Rebel Rookies, I guess, is quite a different vibe. But Asia Talent Cup, where he's obviously surrounded by Asian people and people from kind of his similar culture. Then was in the Honda Team Asia squad for Moto 3, then Moto 2 for most of the time. Again, the same people speaking Japanese to a lot of the engineers and things. Ayama as a team manager, Japanese. So then moved to a Spanish team for one as a culture shock. To then move to an American team next year, it's completely different in general again. It's American run anyway. I know a lot of the techs and stuff will be Italians and Spaniards. But again, that's going to be a massive culture shock, I think, for Agura. I think he'd be absolutely fine. But yeah, I think that might take a little bit of adjustment for him as well, just to get used to the different people around him.
I think the big one is that he's losing his crew chief. I've forgotten his name, so I do apologise, but they work really well together. I can picture him in my head, but the name's escaped me. But I think that's a massive one. They have worked so well together over the last couple of years. Yeah. And I think that partnership is why he has managed to win the championship this year. I think they just work absolutely fantastically together, and they've been at the bottom, when he lost out in the championship a couple of years ago, and he's back up now at the top and now moving to MotoGP. So I think that'll be a big thing for him, is not having that support. He's going to have to build that up again with a new crew chief, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. And he will switch to Giovanni Mattarolo, who is Miguel Oliveira's current crew chief. But crew chief makes a massive difference.
Yep.
I think for a lot of riders, Marc Marquez changing from Frankie Next year will be strange because you had Santi for so long. Then he goes to Frankie and it works well. And he's got to change again to Enea Bastianini's current crew chief. And there's a tricky one with the crew chiefs because you develop that bond and you speak a language. Obviously, you speak like English or whatever to them, but you speak a language to them that only they can understand about the bike, about how it feels and stuff. And as the year goes on, the crew chiefs begins to understand. Okay, the rider likes it like this because of this, and when they say they want this, they say, oh, it's too stiff in the rear and it's making this, and the bike feels like this. They instantly know. Okay, from their preferences, I have got a lot of experience with, I know that they are asking for this without directly asking for it.
Yeah, like
and
how does
then
it translate? Yeah.
to then have a completely clear slate is difficult. I refer to it a lot, but it is interesting. I think the dynamics of a crew chief, and if you listen to the Off Track podcast episode with Frankie Carcetti, he talks about Mir and then switching to Didier, who's a completely different rider, different riding style, different background and things like that, and how they kind of adapted that. And then obviously switching to Mark as well. He didn't really go into Mark because it was before the contract. No, it was just in that time where Mark couldn't really talk, and so they couldn't really talk about it. But Frankie Carcetti's crew chief for years, and with loads of different riders, and it's quite interesting to hear the dynamics. And I think for many riders, I think losing that crew chief going into MotoGP is difficult for Agura, as you mentioned, Lauren, because suddenly this guy who can speak Agura's language is getting somebody else who's worked with Miguel and knows the bike but doesn't know the rider. And again, it'll be a period of adjustment for the pair of them, I think.
Yeah, well, I think obviously all the rookies will have that sort of adjustment period. But speaking of Marc Marquez, I think he'll be the next rider who'll have the biggest, not culture shock, but the biggest difference. Because maybe it's just because Frankie Carcetti is so open and you hear so much from him. Like, he's fantastic on X, after a lot of sessions. He's writing tweets and replying to people and telling people what's gone wrong. And I don't know, I just think he gives a great insight into how Mark thinks and how he works with Mark, and they clearly work so well together. And he's been open and honest. He's like, yeah, no, we need to get better at qualifying, and Fridays, they're not good, we need to get better at that. And I wish more crew chiefs were like that, so we could see more and more of how important that relationship is. But Marc Marquez, I don't think he's going to struggle next year, but I do think he will have a big adjustment period to go from having someone like Frankie Carcetti. And it's nothing against who he's going to, but that sort of relationship is hard to come by. It's difficult, and it does take time. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, well, I think Mark, going back into a factory structure will be good for him though, because he's used to Honda, he's used to the pressure. The pressure works for him. There's no real pressure in Grassini because they're not expecting the results that he's pulled out of the bag. They're like happy with top fives, top tens are great. You're on a year-old bike, so it's not expected. And then he's going out winning races and stuff. And you are kind of pushing the envelope at what the team can do. And it's great for the team, of course. But Mark, I think, thrives in an environment where the pressure is there and gone, you need to get these results. I think when Mark is allowed to chill out a little bit more, you see him make these mistakes that he's been making quite a lot recently. Whereas if you've got Tardozzi, GG, and the other guy that I still can't remember the name of because I still try and say Paolo Ciabatti, I still try and say his name. But, when you've got the full force of GG's eyebrows staring at you and you've got Tardozzi yelling at you, because you've crashed, there's a bit more pressure. And Ducati's factory team is a pressure cooker. You've seen some outstanding riders go through there and come at the other side and go, that was crap, and struggle a bit, and Enea Bastianini is a prime example of a rider who we all said at the start of last year, he's going to be on it. 1-2 in the championship. Never happened, never materialized. And you saw Iannone, you saw Dovi go through there. I mean, Dovi, come on, 3-time runner-up, and he's leaving Ducati because he hates them all, and plenty of other riders. Jorge Lorenzo, another one. It's a pressure cooker in there, and I do think Mark will thrive in that environment where other riders might crack. Where Pecco, on the other hand, with that pressure, will he crack? That's the question.
It's going to make or break Pecco. I think there's only
Yep.
2 ways about it. It will either make him the best version of himself. I still think he has room to grow. I think this season has proved it,
And
that
it'll
he's
force
still,
him to grow.
he's still human and he makes mistakes, but he's made far too many mistakes this season. And if he loses the championship, he's can only blame himself basically for the mistakes that he's made. But coming in and having a competitive teammate, which he's only ever had in small bursts with Jack Miller as well. It was only every so often were they able to come in and win races or be on the podium and be that sort of right-hand man. The same has unfortunately happened with Enea Bastianini, where he hasn't made it click consistently. So I don't know. I have a funny feeling that Marc Marquez will be able to make it click consistently, considering what he's able to do on the Gresini this year. So yeah, that will either make or break Pecco. We could see Pecco sort of fall away from being the number one rider at Ducati, or he's gonna just click into this next sort of level and be in a complete league of his own. If he can do that, he'll be such a well-rounded rider, having someone like Marc Marquez as your teammate, and maybe they can finally battle Ducati for 1 and 2 in the championship, which will be really, really interesting. And that's factory Ducati, obviously, battling for 1 and 2 in the championship. So
Yeah,
could be good.
that's it. Yeah, and I'm very excited. Obviously, we're getting ahead of ourselves because we've still got 1 race to go. Very excited to see Didier on that GP25. I think he is going to fly next year on that bike. He's been so impressive this year. Obviously, I'm very sad to see him miss the last kind of 2 races, and that shoulder injury, of course, has caused him a lot of issues. Even when that shoulder was causing him issues, he's still been 4th in Australia. And yeah, I'm so impressed by him. I think as soon as he found that win, it's just clicked for him. And next year, on the same bike as Pecco and Marquez, the same way Martin's on the same factory bike as the top 2, I think he's going to absolutely just come into his own now. And it's incredible to think that we very nearly saw him without a seat this year, and now all of a sudden he's a factory rider next year. It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, you say that, but then also at the same time, he's on the same bike as Marc Marquez this year.
Yeah.
With a year of experience on a Ducati before it. And he's, how many points behind Marc?
He's got about half Marc's points. Now about 200 behind Marc after missing 2 races.
So really they're both just jumping up. They're making the same leap, both of them, next year. But then Marc's maybe got the advantage of having a Lenovo sticker on his bike as well.
Yeah.
So, I think Digi will do well, but I think maybe in the same way that, Morbidelli's done well this year in terms of, pretty solidly top 5s a lot of the time.
Digi's actually higher than
Maybe top
Morbidelli in the championship, you know.
You are?
Digi is higher than Morbidelli in the championship.
That's not a surprise.
Yeah, no, so that's...
I get what you mean. From where Morbidelli was the year before he joined Ducati, he's made a good jump. But yeah, don't know.
I think he'll have a good year.
Yeah,
and it'll be solid results. But I think it'll be overshadowed by what the top 3 riders are doing, like this year.
Yeah. I think the Ducati dominance is going to start to fade next year.
I think so.
And I think you've got a pretty solid 1 and 2 in Pecco and Marc. And I think they're pretty solid in finishing on podiums for a lot of the races, as the factory squad has done this year. I don't see that changing very much. Now you've got a difference in Pramac not there. Digi is going to be the only other rider on that GP25. That's a lot of pressure on Digi to start putting the results in. They've put the faith in Digia, decided to go down the route of the VR46 team to put that GP25 in there, which I still think is a bit of a questionable move considering your last 2 factory riders have come from Gresini. It's an interesting decision from Ducati to put the GP25 into the VR46 squad. Not saying that Digia doesn't deserve it, but now there's going to be a lot of pressure on his shoulders to put the results in. It's going to be interesting. You've got Alex Marquez, Fermin Aldeguer. Alex hasn't really made much of this season. Fermin's obviously a rookie. Frankie Morbidelli is basically doing a sidestep. He's going to get to stay on the same bike, so you might actually see him
Did
improving
quite well. Yeah.
because he's having another year on the same bike. But now all of a sudden we've got 6 Ducati bikes, and I think more and more, hopefully, Aprilias, KTMs, Hondas, Yamahas, is this the sort of the beginning of the end for Ducati? Quite possibly. I think so. If the other manufacturers can now make this step, which is going to be slow to start in 2025 because Ducati is the blueprint. Everyone's trying to do what Ducati's doing, and we've got so many people moving on to different bikes. But I think by the end of the season, I don't know, I think things could be different. But I don't see Digia being a title contender. I think the main point of what that discussion was initially about, even on the GP25.
It's interesting as well because this time last year, and actually, not even this far into the season, with quite a few rounds left, we were hearing rumblings about how much better the GP24 was gonna be than the GP23. They're like, it's better everywhere, and people are like, no, there's no way. And then, like, sure enough, it rolled out, and we're like,
yeah,
oh, shit, okay.
But that's been the last couple of years. I honestly think from about 2021, it's been that sort of thing where Pecco almost was able to fight for the championship in 2021. I think from then onwards, it's sort of been like each year, it's been like, oh, somehow we've made it better, and then somehow it is better.
But we've not heard that this year. I don't think we've not really heard anything about how much better the GP25 is. Which is interesting because, I don't know. Maybe there will be just less of a gap between the 24 and the 25 this time. Maybe they've perfected it. Maybe it can't get any better. Who knows?
Yeah.
But maybe the concessions and how that sort of has played out this season is coming into play. Pecco's been so worried about his bike this season and the issues that he's been having because his starts haven't been great. He's said that there's been issues here, there, and everywhere. So clearly he's not focused on 2025, which makes sense. He's still got a championship to wrap up. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't really think we've heard much else from anyone else. But then there is quite a lot of riders leaving Ducati, so possibly that could be why. That they're not testing the new parts. They're not seeing any of the new parts.
I think
possibly
Piero's been quite kind of stum on it as well. He's not really given many comments. I think, Pecco's comments next Tuesday will be the interesting ones. That's going to be intriguing to hear what he has to say about the bike. And that's when Marquez will be like, what the hell's this? This is insane. This is what he'll get off and be like, you've been riding this?
Yeah.
I think we'll have that little smile like he did at the start of this year where he got off the bike, he took his helmet off and he didn't say anything, he just smiled and we all went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's allowed to smile this time because he's actually the thingy rider. But yeah, I think so. But yeah, it'd be interesting. But sticking on the kind of 2025 kind of chatter, there's a lot of talk finally about Moto2 and Moto3 because, I don't know, there's been a lot of rumours, but then nothing has really been confirmed. But finally, Alvaro Carpe has been confirmed to the Red Bull KTM IO squad for next year, alongside Rueda, with 02's out. Not really sure where he's going to go. It's a bit muddy where that's gone, but I feel kind of bad for 02's. I don't think he was ready anyway, and they put him in the factory team, and then they're giving him 1 year and he's out. Standard KTM practice, really. Bit of a shame, I think. But then Carpe was meant to go to Intact, and then Red Bull stepped in and was like, no, we want the Rookies Champ in IO. So that kind of threw things around because Maximo Quiles was meant to be in IO, and then he could have gone to Intact, but then I was told, actually, no, he's going to go to Aspar, but now actually he could go to Leopard next year, because he's riding a Honda this year anyway. He could go to Leopard, and he will replace the outgoing Angel Piqueras, who broke his contract with the Leopard squad for about €300,000, and has been officially confirmed today at the MSI MT Helmets squad for next year alongside Rusai Yamanaka. There's all sorts of musical chairs going on Moto3 as always.
It makes my head hurt because there's all
Yeah.
these new names of people
Right?
that have been
Yeah,
coming up
yeah.
the ranks and the rookies and all that, and you sort of hear whispers of who's going to go where, and now it's all
Yeah.
confirmed, and I'm like, who, what, when, where, why? Like,
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Quiles actually gained his exemption for the age limits last year when he finished third in the Rebel Rookies. Didn't actually finish that this year. Could still finish third in top 3 in the Junior World Championship this year, but he's managed by Mark and Alex Marquez, so he's in pretty good kind of standing there.
Company, yep.
Yeah. Additionally, in Moto3, I was told about maybe Joel Esteban being kicked out of Aspar, but I don't see that happening at all, to be honest. They even said, because he's not actually racing this weekend, and I was like, oh, maybe Quiles can replace him this weekend, because that would make sense if he was to, say, ride for them next year. He's also, Quiles has ridden for Aspar in the past, but they posted a statement today about Esteban saying he will not be able to compete this weekend in Barcelona due to a left-hand ski-foot injury after crashing Sepang. The CF Moto rider will undergo surgery tomorrow in order to begin the recovery period as soon as possible. Which, to me, with the soon as possible, infers that maybe he's going to be back on the bike next year. Again, would be cool to kick him out this early after 1 year.
I thought you said it would be cool.
Oh God, no!
I also
cruel.
heard cruel.
Yeah, no,
Like,
cruel.
Dick, there's no way you just said that.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever, Trevor. I'll see what they're saying on Wikipedia quick.
No, I mean,
No.
I don't think we've seen Joel Esteban's full potential this season, and unfortunately, I do think it's because he's been overshadowed by his teammate. Obviously, lining up beside David Alonso, I think it's very hard to sort of show how good you can be, and I know there's been a few rough results in there anyway for a rookie season, but hopefully they keep him. Because, there's no need to be kicking a Moto3 rider out after 1 year. It's not fair.
No. And additionally to that, no disrespect to any of the riders this year, but the level in the Junior Moto3 World Championship last year was lower than we would expect. So Lunetta's been the only standout rider, really. Well, actually, no, obviously Piqueras. But Piqueras and Lunetta are kind of looking at the Rookie of the Year Championship. They were first and second in the standings last year. Piqueras 220 points. Lunetta is second with 138.
But Piqueras cleaned up last year, didn't he?
He did, yeah. But in what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In 12 races, so 12 times 25, out of 300 potential points, Lunetta in second picked up 138. He didn't even pick up half the amount of points, and that was second in the championship. Then Carpe, who was a champion in the rookies and potentially junior GP this year, was third, and then was obviously wiped up with the field this year.
Yeah.
Esteban was fourth with 132, so it was close in top 3. But then Zuratuza 6, 120, needed another year. Rulstone's actually impressed this year, but was 7th in the championship. Then Amanza in 9th, struggled a lot this year. Boisri in 11th in the championship has been at the back of the field all year long. And then Detweiler again at the back, and he was 19th in the championship. But what I'm trying to say is the crop of rookies this year has been lower than the years previous to that. And so I think every rookie deserves some more time, including Zuratuza, because of the early promotion, shall we say.
Well, I just think when you list off all those names, like, they're all going to be in Moto3 next year. So I think that's going to make the championship very exciting. I think Carpe could come in and be one of those rookies that sort of...
Yeah, he's going to do it really
well. Sort of makes everyone look at him.
Yeah.
I think Quiles could be one of those rookies as well, hopefully.
Yeah.
But then you've got the guys like Piqueras, who's had that year of experience and has really showed how good he can be on a Moto3 bike. So I think the championship could be really interesting next year. You've got Rueda, who's had a couple of years now, who we thought was going to burst onto the scene and didn't.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that makes Moto3 really, really exciting because this happens. You know, you get the standout rookies, then you get the riders that have sort of been there a couple of years. And then, of course, you always get the ones, you know, who've been in the class, like the veterans of the class always throw in good performances too. So yeah, I think we're like in a nice wee cycle of Moto3 riders at the minute. So it makes me really excited for 2025.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, Carpe as well has been one kind of coming. I think he was third in the rookies and junior world championship last year, and then has gone on to win. Well, he's not won the junior world championship yet, but I mean, there's 2 races left, and he's 44 points ahead of second place or something stupid like that. So it's very likely he will do the same as the last 2 championship winners of rookies and junior world championship. But because the year prior to that he was very good as well, I can see Carpe coming in and actually doing exceptionally well, and he's got a good teammate to back him up. But yeah, that's Moto3. Moto2 is an interesting one because there's been obviously some changes, but the main one at the moment is that Artigas will be booted out of the forward team 1 year into his contract and replaced by Sura, who has been like rumored a little bit recently because Corsi's coming back as a test rider and will wildcard this weekend as well for the forward racing scheme. But Sura was kind of rumored to jump into the team next year. Then a video was posted today, and there is a single frame of Sura riding the bike today on it, which they kind of hid on live timing and stuff like that. So they weren't really meant to drop that, but somebody accidentally made a clanger and posted it.
A single frame.
Yeah. And so, yeah, Sura will probably be on the bike next year. And that means Artigas is out of a seat. Again, we go into that thing about being a rookie and needing more time. I don't think that's right to kick him out after just a year.
Yeah. I have nothing else to add to that one.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, no, we've discussed a bunch that I think like 2 years should be like just enforce their contracts, and then there's all
that's true.
Riders union stuff, etc. But we could be here for hours about that.
Well,
really,
F1 have set one up finally.
Yeah, they have.
I have no idea about F1 stuff, so
I don't know when or how or what's gone about. I think just with everything that's been going on in their season, I seen an Instagram post. Someone had shared it to their story of this drivers association.
Oh, that's been going on since the 60s, that.
Yeah, but like they've got the Instagram for it now, and they've put out like an official statement, and they're actually I think there's riders associations in all of these things, and drivers, I should say. But the fact that they're actually they spoke out about recent incidents that have been happening in F1, which they haven't done this season or in the last couple of seasons, as far as I'm aware. So yes, it might have been a thing for a long time, but they definitely haven't used it. So I think they're sort of standing as a united front on some things that have been going on in F1, which should happen in MotoGP.
George Russell's a kind of key figure in that Grand Prix Driver Association.
Yeah. I think it's all just based on the Max Verstappen swearing in press conferences, and then Charles Leclerc also swore recently, and they sort of had unfair penalties handed their way. They really should come to MotoGP because Pedro Acosta literally would be in debt with how much he swears in press conferences and on national television. So I think it's a bit stupid what the FIA are doing. So basically they're just standing up against it. But when we talk about contracts and how they're not worth the paper that they're wrote on in MotoGP, I think the riders need to be doing something about it. And maybe with Alicia Spagro having a little bit more time on his hands, he'd be my prime candidate to start something like this up. So hopefully, if everyone's on board, which is clearly the issue as it stands, they need to get something like that up and running.
Yeah, I agree because, Artigas signed a contract to the end of 2026. Is that after 1 year? Mental.
Yeah. And so many
But-
names come to mind when you think of that. So
Yeah, it's true. I think another rider who was actually confirmed this week finally is Barry Baltus at Fantic. Waited a while for that one. I think I mentioned it a little while ago, but yeah, that's finally been confirmed.
Nice.
There is a rider potentially making his debut this weekend in Moto2. So both the Mastercamp riders are out. That's Sasaki, who is riding for RW Racing next year, and Alcoba, who's racing in for Pacetti in World Supersport next year, alongside Filippo Ferroli, who's in the MV Augusta next year from Moto3. And Manzi is likely to replace one of the riders because he's Yamaha's guy over in World Supersport, and he's ridden the class before. And the name I was told earlier is Andrea Migno will also ride alongside him, making his Moto2 debut, which is interesting because I don't think he's ever ridden a Moto2 bike.
Hey, what's it got to lose? It's the last race of the season. Go have a little nice time.
Yeah, why not?
why not?
I think he'd love it. I mean, he works for the R46 team and has done all year.
Yeah.
He's quite been instrumental in all that. So yeah, why not? Eh?
I mean, they called me first, but I'm busy.
Yeah.
So,
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Deck never got the phone call. That's annoying.
No, that's annoying. They said I'd be too good for it. They're like, look, we want you to replace Didier, not
right. Well,
Sasaki.
yeah, we can't have you coming in and doing a Jorge Navarro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who is racing this weekend, by the way, Navarro. So
well, what can you do?
That's that's the way the cards fall sometimes, isn't it?
I know. Yeah. Well, you said sure call Mino up. I think
I did say First name on my mind was Mino.
Yeah,
was Mino.
Look, well, I can't do it, so
yeah. So get
I know a guy.
I know a guy.
Very gracious of you, Cameron.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm always looking out for the little guy.
Quite literally, he's tiny.
He's one of those people who is a Moto3 rider, like out and out, which
quite diminutive.
Yeah, you just see them. But I mean, he does his podcast and everything now that seems to be going well. He seems to be doing his thing. Like Deck said, VR46 employ him. Like, he's just living his best life, sort of thing. So why not give him the opportunity? So I'm all for it if it is true.
Yeah, exactly. Before we go into predictions, one last thing. The meetup I never thought we'd ever see. Casey Stoner and Valentino Rossi at his ranch.
Oh yeah.
Mental.
Is hell freezing over? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever see that with Marquez and Rossi, right?
I was going to ask, yeah.
I said that to my brother. I was like, Casey Stoner, as in the Casey Stoner, was at the ranch, and my brother was like, oh, so does that mean Marc Marquez is coming around soon?
No.
No. Not while he still has an active career, and it's not been around for 10 years. So
I don't think Marc Marquez and Valentino Rossi will ever...
Not while Marquez is still...
together.
Yeah, like Marquez is still dishing it out to, to Ross's, like, academy students, basically. So I think it's still a very direct connection to Rossi and like a
his teammates, one of his students next year, and he might end up absolutely murking him. So
yeah,
exactly.
So I think no, that's not going to happen for a long time.
He's not on the Christmas card list.
No, he's not. Well, I don't think they're on either of each other's Christmas card lists somehow.
I would, out of pettiness.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, seeing Casey Stoner at the ranch was incredible. The only thing I could think the whole time through watching the video was the talent or ambition outweighing the talent. Like, I couldn't, I was just repeating it in my head, like the scene of Rossi going in, helmet on, and Stoner just completely going at him. I think it's wild that it's happened. Like, I actually couldn't believe what I was watching, and I clicked past it initially when I seen it on Instagram. Or I was just clicking through stories, and I didn't realize because I'd seen the picture of two guys on bikes, helmets on. I didn't put two and two together who it was, and then felt like a bit of an idiot. Then later on, when it clicked, and I sat down and watched the whole video, but mind blown. to be honest.
Well, I loved the bike as well that Sona was on. It was like a custom built, 2-stroke 350cc flat tracker from Better. Absolutely gorgeous thing.
Weapon.
Absolutely unreal. Custom built, superb liver, and a 2-stroke 350. Like, I don't know if you've seen the video of him. I think Vietti's chasing him on the ranch. You can just hear that 2-stroke scream, and it sounds so good.
Like, when are On the Gas getting the invite?
I know.
Yeah,
The
come on.
ranch. Kind
Like,
of
he's literally invited everyone else but us.
like. I think we'd bring the vibes. We'd
Yeah,
have a
we
great
would.
time.
Just
Yeah.
interview
My
everyone.
Italian's not great though, so
No.
I would
doesn't have to
devour
be.
some Italian food while I
Oh
was
yeah.
there, but that would be the height of it. What about the 100 kilometers of?
Oh
The
yeah.
10th anniversary, I believe it is as
Yep.
well. And Stoner's competing in it, you know?
No
That was
way.
my question. I was like, do you think he's come to the ranch because he's been invited to go do that?
Yeah, he has been. I think Rossi
You've-
himself confirmed it the other
You've
week.
answered my question.
Yes. I don't think there's an actual entry list yet.
Don't think so. Wonder who he's paired up with. It's always quite fun to see who's teamed up.
Rossi and Marini, as always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Domi's going. I know that.
Okay.
Migno, Manfredi.
Yeah.
Obviously Rossi, all the VR46
Yeah.
Academy.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Rossi doesn't want Marquez there because he's scared he'll break the lap record again. That stood.
Yeah.
I think that record of Mark stood for about 6 years as well. You know, like
Jesus.
even after 2015, Rossi had to go back home and see M. Marquez lap record chalked on the board.
No.
He's like,
Listen,
nah.
it's his track. Would he not just
I
rub
would
it
just
out?
rub it
you know?
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have as well.
Track limits. Sorry. Yeah.
You can rub it
Sorry.
out, but you still know deep
Yeah.
down he's got the lap record. Yeah, but we're going to these predictions for the last time this year.
Oi.
So,
Aye.
Moto3 Catalunya. So, to remind you, because we can do that now, where on earth is Catalunya? There it is. So, in the race, it was, of course, Alonso winning, Ortola second, Rueda third, and Ortola on pole position. So, Cameron, pole, please.
Oh, okay. For Catalonia, right? I thought you were doing like a recap or something.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Moto3 pole Catalonia. Well, I mean, shall we say David Alonso?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just
Thrown
for
out
the
there.
You
last
have to
round. Yeah, I got
Pull a
nothing
rabbit
to
out
lose.
of a hat for that one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
honest,
crazy. That.
I should actually go a bit left field just in the hopes of pulling some points back because I've picked
Scott
the same
Ogden.
things. Yeah. All right, so
Scott's been on form though recently.
Scott's been
Maya.
fantastic recently.
Absolutely
Yeah.
sensational. Yeah,
Eddie
because he
was
signed that
amazing
MotoGP
as well.
contract for next year. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking nonsense.
Trying to throw everyone off the scent after I dropped the clanger the other week. Lauren, please, pole position Moto3.
Ortola, because he got it the last time. And I couldn't be
I've
bothered
also
changing
done
it,
the same
so.
thing. Great. Okay, I'll go first. Via third. Lauren, please.
Fire third. We got the same prediction.
I bloody hope not. Cameron, please.
Is anyone injured? That I need
Well,
to be aware of?
Esteban's not going to be there. We knew that
Yeah,
much.
Esteban's not there.
I think that's it.
02's ego is absolutely destroyed.
Oh, no, don't.
Um,
Don't make it worse. Don't make it worse.
Yeah. After that crash at Sepang on the cooldown lap.
Oh dear. Holgado, please.
I thought you were going to say Furasato.
I've gone Via as well, as we know. Furasato would be cool.
Would.
Cameron, I'll stick with you for second, please.
Fernandez,
No.
please.
Okay. I like it. Nice. I'm going to go Ortola second and
Oh,
Lauren.
that's okay. I'm going to go Holgado second.
Nice. Right. Does it take a genius to work out who we've gone for first?
Well, I've gone Alonso.
Who?
Same, yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Hey.
Apparently it does take a genius to work out.
No, I was joking.
Oh, right. Sure. That's what they all say.
Clearly, sarcasm
Clearly, yeah.
didn't reach it.
Yeah, clearly sarcasm. Anyway, right, so
You know what?
Blow my neck.
right, in Moto 2 earlier this year, Aguro won the race. Garcia second, Dixon third, and Garcia pole. Don't see Garcia doing the same, but pole position, I'm going to go with Canet. Cameron, please.
I was also going to go Canet. Yeah.
Okay, and Lauren?
I'm going to go Agura.
Okay, interesting. Third place, please, Lauren.
Arbellino.
Abellino. Okay, nice. I've written Abrelino. That's brilliant.
Yes. No, I'm well.
Abrelino. Cameron?
I was also thinking Arbolino, but it makes no sense for me to choose the same as Lauren.
No.
So
I've never prayed so hard, or will never pray so hard for Tony Arbellino to be on the podium for that statement. Carry on.
Well, I mean, I might pick him on the podium, just not.
Oh, okay.
I can't choose the same position as you, just
Oh,
for
right, okay.
the purpose of this little competition we're doing here.
Yes.
I'll have. Is Dixon okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Again, it might be his ego that's not okay.
Yeah, I'll have
Yeah.
Dixon for third, please.
Okay. Third place.
Bruised ego.
Yeah.
You?
I'm just trying to think who was in Moto 2.
Mino.
No, he's a
Saving that for
rival
first.
podcast. You can't have that. I don't know. Third place. You know what? Screw it, Navarro.
I was going to say, do you know it's not actually a bad show?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play. Right. Second place. He's posted a lot of motivational quotes on Instagram recently. So he's
Aaron
definitely going for it. Aaron Canet, yeah. Second.
Finish the season as he started it.
Yeah. And second in the championship as well, which is quite poetic.
Yep.
Cameron?
Are you... So has Lauren also gone Canet?
I'm Canet, yeah.
Oh,
Right,
you've
okay.
Canet as well.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's maybe have Vietti.
His last race in KTM colours.
Yeah.
To win, I've gone Agura, because why not? Cameron?
What's Lauren doing?
I also want to go Agura because he hasn't actually won a race as the champion yet.
No, he's not. That's true.
I'd like to see him finish the season on a high. I actually don't really see it happening, but...
No, I don't, to be honest.
I didn't really know who else to pick.
No.
Because I don't see anyone else doing it, no offense. Unless,
No,
for me, Aldeguer or something pulls a blinder
Pulls it out.
Yeah.
There is still a battle for third in the championship, to be fair.
Who's third as it stands?
So, the Moto 2 at the moment... Sorry, Cameron, I did cut you off.
No, that's okay. I know who I'm going with, so you carry on.
Oh, that's fine. So, Sergio Garcia currently sits in third, but...
Still?
Yeah, but Aldeguer and Gonzalez are tied 6 points behind him, with Lopez only 10 points back, and 16 points back is Vietti. Dixon is... My maths is broken now. I think 26. And Roberts can't, because he's not even racing. So, yeah, it's Vietti, Lopez, Gonzalez, Aldeguer, and Garcia can all finish third in the championship. And Fermin's not to finish the last two races, so realistically, he could have already wrapped that up if he had not. I don't even think he's racing this weekend.
Is he
though.
racing? Yeah.
I don't think he is, actually. Let's have a look. Because he did post a photo.
That the seasons are too long.
Yeah, surgery done. Thank you to Javi Mir and his team for the work. The operation has been perfect. And now we're going to recover quickly. I don't know. He posted that, 2 weeks ago? No idea. Yeah, I don't know if he's still in hospital or not. I guess we'll find out. Otherwise, it'll be Surah.
So I'd like Canet for the win, please, then.
Nice. Okay. Canet to win. Right. MotoGP pole. I'm going to go Martin. It was, I will obviously recap for you.
Was it Pecco?
Aleix pole.
Oh.
Aleix sprint win. Then by Naya Martin Marquez. So, pole, please, Cameron.
What's Lauren saying?
For God's sake.
No. I'll go with Pecco pole just to make this like interesting. And I'm like, oh, he's not gonna go down without a fight.
Yeah.
Sort of
No.
I don't know how to go with my predictions. I put Martin down for pole, but what I've put for the rest of the weekend, I don't actually want to happen because I want the championship to be on Sunday.
Okay.
So I'm like, do I switch it up or
But
do I keep it how it is? Yeah. Don't know, guys.
Well,
I'll keep him as pole. He is pole, but like I'm having an internal.
Is that Martin?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Sprint win. I've gone Espargaro. Why not?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Cameron?
What's Lauren saying?
Yeah, what's Lauren saying?
What's Lauren saying? That's you. Doing an impression of me. Just so you know. Just because I want it to roll round to Sunday, I want to say Pecco for sprint win as well.
Nice. Okay. And Lauren?
I've changed my mind last minute. I'm going to say Marc Marquez.
Oh,
because I also want to see it on Sunday. So I think
what's
possibly
the weather going to be?
17 degrees.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's kind
None
of nice.
of us have put Martin to win the sprint.
Because we wanted to roll over. I did have him down for the sprint, but then I changed my mind because I'm going, realistically, I want to see the championship one on Sunday, even though we had that whole big spiel at the start of the pod.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Third place, I've got Marc Marquez. Lauren?
Enea Bastianini.
Oh, okay. And Cameron?
Hard to argue with Marquez third place, isn't it?
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Okay. Second, please, Lauren.
Marc Marquez.
Oh, so you think he's going to get third in the championship?
Yep.
Interesting. Cameron?
Martin.
Oh, I've gone by Naya second. Cameron, please. To win.
I think Pecco will. Yeah. Okay. Let's say Pecco's going to do the double, but it won't be enough.
Okay. Interesting.
He'll have a perfect weekend, and it won't be enough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking, though.
That is tough.
That's really upsetting.
That's what he needs to learn.
His 10 DNFs.
Yeah, his DNFs have what's cost him. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's the lesson.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. And Lauren?
I'm going to say Jorge Martin.
Same.
That would be...
It's 8 DNFs as well, sorry.
Hunters.
Yeah, I've not put Pecco on the podium. Just
bloody hell.
Think of that what you will, guys.
Gee, you think he's going to slippity slide?
I think he's going to bin it.
Yeah.
Not that I want to see him binning it.
Is this the downward trajectory for like all of next year starting, Lauren, do you think? And then into 2026, he's satellite team by 2027, and then he's in super sport by 2030.
Yeah, he's in, Italian
championship.
I don't know. I think he's either going to have the perfect weekend, like you said, and it not be enough, and Martin can just settle for second place and just not have to push the boat out. I really could see that happening. Or I think the flip side, he'll try too hard, and because he has to do something spectacular for Martin to lose. So
Yeah.
and that's on Martin not making any mistakes. You know what I mean? So it's I don't
that
know.
makes sense.
One of them's gonna fluff it up basically at some point, I think.
And if of the two, I said at Sepang, Martin will make the mistake. He's been so strong at the moment. I think if either of them are going to make a mistake, it'll be Pecco. And now watch me eat my words next week.
Yeah, now you've said it.
I'm sure of it. But
no, I'm saying it could go either way. I'm covering both aspects of it, basically.
Yeah.
I can totally see both outcomes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm playing it safe, basically. Even though I have said that I do think that Jorge Martin will win the championship.
Nice.
Statistically, it's probably gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on that bombshell, I think that's a good time to end it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got more of a Jeremy Clarkson impression there?
No, not without coming across as racist or whatever. You know, I don't.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's our question.
Well,
although we did announce season 5 of Clarkson's Farm the other day, so I'm quite excited for that.
It's a fantastic program.
Yeah, I blooming love that. It's probably the best thing he's ever done.
I mean, I don't know if you watched Top Gear growing up. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Just that wee show. Not many people have heard of it. No.
Fifth Gear.
Like the
I think
Fifth copy.
Gear.
Yeah.
Fifth Gear. That was the one.
Yeah. Tiffnadell. Anyway.
Anywho.
It's bedtime for me. It's
same.
look at that.
Yeah, Big Brother in bed. How exciting. You freaks.
You said that. You said those words. Anybody who's not familiar with this show, listen. Purely written down, those words that you just said are not okay. And we would just like to clarify to the audience that there is a popular TV show that some people still like to watch called Big Brother. And Lauren likes to watch this show in bed.
With her brother.
Does Lauren even have an older sibling who's a brother?
I have two. Yeah, I have two. No, I have one older brother. Sorry, guys.
Right, okay.
And an older sister.
And he's in his own bed. So
you freaks!
Listen, you said this on us. Absolutely, don't put this on us. This is fully you. But
did I not say what? No,
you just said Big Brother in bed. That was what you said.
And bed.
That's even worse.
Actually, maybe we should end this one right here.
Yeah, and on that bombshell.
Yeah, that's an appropriate bombshell to end on.
Jack's bombshell wasn't good enough. So.
No.
Lauren was like, "What? Bring incest into it."
You took it the wrong way. I've mentioned me watching. No, but I've mentioned watching Big Brother like every week on the podcast.
I don't think you have.
I definitely have.
No. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, please leave comments.
Sorry, guys.
If you were initially shocked by what Lauren just said, please let us know. Also, thumbs up. Also, bell icon if you're watching YouTube, etc.
Yeah, like it, subscribe to it, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify
or wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, yes. I've got one. Leave a comment. On who's going to win the championship.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, and leave on championship. Yeah,
and predictions as well. We're doing a thing about that, but we'll tell everybody.
That's secret.
Figure it out. Yeah. That's all secret.
It was, and then cameras just.
Well, no, but like,
tease them.
Yeah, sprinkle some breadcrumbs.
Nice.
Prediction things.
Basically, we still are to have the argument with Deck on how we want to run the predictions for next year, guys.
And everyone else getting involved, hopefully.
Yeah.
If we can.
If you want to,
because other people have left us really good ideas on how to do the predictions next year. Yeah. Much better than Declan's ideas. So
I don't see either of you contributing to this.
Lie.
Yeah, you can't
lie. I even put it in. I could even got screenshot. I can get screenshots of me asking you to do it and you not doing it.
Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
AI is a
Anyway,
great
Fake
thing
news.
these days.
You were fake news.
Fake news.
Yeah, we'll just copy the BSB format next year. 18 points for a win.
Maybe. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you very much. And yes, good night. Enjoy.
Peace.
And yeah, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.